Imagine you are standing in the checkout queue in the supermarket, or you are standing in a queue for the copy machine because you need to make copies, and you are really in a rush because you have a lot of other things to do, and therefore you are thinking of ways how to jump the queue. Maybe, if there's only one person in front of you, you just say, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the copy machine?" And chances are that your success rate is at about 60%. About 60% of the people would say, "Okay, you can pass." That's at least the percentage they found when they tested this scenario in a classical study in 1978, published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. 60% success rate just for asking and not giving any reason is really not bad. But what happens if you give a reason? So in another condition, they said, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the copy machine because I'm in a rush?" So quite a plausible reason, and the success rate for this group was already much higher. The success rate was 94%. 94% of the participants said, "Okay, yeah, you can pass." So the first thing we learn, if you want to jump the queue, give a good reason. I confess, this is not too surprising, but what we learn from another experimental condition is absolutely surprising, because they could show that it is not necessary to give a good and plausible reason, but it looks like that you can give almost every nonsense reason. Because in the last condition, the participants were asked, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the copy machine because I have to make copies?" What? He wants to use the copy machine before me because he wants to make copies? Come on, I want to make copies as well. But that's no reason to make the copies first. Yeah? So this is not plausible, this is nonsense. Nevertheless, the success rate for this question was almost the same as for the question with the plausible reason. It was 93%. So almost everybody agreed, almost everybody said, "Yeah, okay, you can pass." So what's going on here? Well, the reason why giving a pseudo reason to improve compliance rates for small requests, making 5 copies is a really small request, and they could show that the pseudo reason was no longer effective when it was about making 20 copies. So as long as the request was small, a pseudo reason was sufficient, but when it would take a serious amount of time, when the costs might be quite high, then the pseudo reason, the nonsense reason, did no longer work. So one could guess that it only works if we are mindless, if we don't think about it too hard, because then we rely on automated scripts, we rely on what we experienced in the past, and we experience that whenever anybody tells us, "Well, could I please blah blah blah, because blah blah blah," usually the other person presents a plausible reason. And as our brain is sometimes a little bit lazy, it relies on these past experiences and it says, "Well, yeah, whatever." But when it's a huge request, our brain begins to listen carefully and wants to hear a good and real reason. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want, we'll see you again next time.